Yeah, you sure we're live? Because twice we had to, twice we had technical issues. We couldn't get a show done, so we just said screw it. Yeah, I know. But I think this time everything's going to be good. Well, I hope so. From your mouth to God's ear. And Steve, don't worry. And, I'll talk about it when we get on the air. In fact, get to doing. Get to doing, my friend. Well, thank you very much. Live from our Tom O'Neill Memorial Broadcast Studios in the Park Forest Apartment Complex here in beautiful Upper Jackson, Michigan. This is Steve Sporty Balls. Sports with balls. I'm your announcer, Harry Von Stuttgart, and here he is. I think he's got everything with him. If not, you better look for it. Here's Steve. Yeah, how you doing, everybody? Yes, yes. In the window. What do you see? Hey, hi, everybody. Welcome to another rollicking edition of Let's Hope This Program Doesn't Go Downhill. Today, I'll just show you how much fun I had. Today we took a little trip to downtown Jackson to see the Gus Macker 50th anniversary of that august organization. Brought home some sous including this. Doctor's Urgent Care. It's a cozy. I'm going to use it as a finger puppet. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Great to see you. But it's great to be here, and we got some sports tonight. The hockey game, Game 7, will be on Monday night, 8 o'clock on ABC. And once again, our show will give you a little coverage if we keep the set down. And in fact, could you excuse me for a couple of moments? I don't usually do what I'm about to do until the halftime, but got this. So just give me a couple of moments, okay? I'll keep talking. So you think, we're still on the air. Okay. What do we have here? Maybe. Yes, friends. What a difference. What a difference a night makes. Okay. One of the things I got was this, believe it or not, this is a tote. I know my hair is a mess. Whoop. I hope it's an earthquake. No, just me because everything's under the table. Okay. Let's unhook, unhinge, and unplug. And this is from Johnny's, which is around the areas. Johnny's, which is, of course, around let's see, it's on Airport Road. It's also in downtown Jackson. They're affiliated with Shell, mainly. Shell Gas. There's one in Vandercook Lake. And wow, it's plastic and everything. Good. Got me a new thing from Johnny's. By the way, I would like a chance to thank two of the following folks. Well, one following folk. The good folks at IEP Urgent Care, owned by local ER physicians. There you see the times. If you're in a little trouble and you need to stop somewhere and get examined and such like that, come to these folks. IEP Urgent Care, open 8 to 8 on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends. They're pretty good. They love people. They love to help them. Best of all, they're professional. IEP, lovely folks right there. IEP Urgent Care. And there's some in Jackson, that's 729 East Michigan. Call 517-539-3018 or go to iepurgentcare.com. There you go. And hey, you want to grab some gas, or if you want to also grab a little grub, where else to go but Johnny's? No wonder. Johnny's. Do we have anything that shows Johnny's? Yeah, J Club Awards. There we go. Good stuff. Be part of J Club Awards. Just scan the code and you got some nice things over there. Okay, we done good. I don't think we're going to be in any heat danger tomorrow. Then again, I don't think a lot of things will happen tomorrow, but we're going to sure let you know. Anyway, on the 28th of this very month, June, we, meaning me and probably a few others, I will be out at downtown Jackson to the Cruise and Music Shindig that is going to happen in downtown Jackson. Whole thing begins at 5. Now, why early? Because our friends at Fox 47 are going to be there for their 5:30 newscast. I wish I had a logo from them or something from them to do something, but, well, maybe next time. Right now, it's 81 big-ass degrees here in the beautiful city of Jackson, Michigan. So be grateful, everyone. I think we're all grateful that every one of us has indeed air conditioning or a dehumidifier to help out, because wow, on the asphalt where the players played, that asphalt can go up to about maybe 100. So it felt like maybe about 98 degrees. So I got some pictures. I'll post them on Facebook. But right now, it's time to post something else. The end of our monologue. Let's get to it. Hello, Matt and Nettie. How are you? Glad to see you. To see you glad. Okay, let us get to the big momentations. That means, hey, we got sports. We got to give it to you here. Can we pull back just a bit, please? Okay. All right, let's bring you down over here so I can at least talk. There we are. You're doing well. I'm doing fair. Church tomorrow. Then Monday, I got no idea. But let's see, where do we go? Yeah, I know we got golf here, so let's give you some golf news. And Mother Nature was the winner of the day. Sort of. But a second consecutive day, the 24 champions, or excuse me, try that again. For the second consecutive day, the 2024 Travelers Championship experienced a long suspension of play as players were pulled off the golf course due to severe weather at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only to return 2 hours and 50 minutes later. Leading as he stepped off the golf course for the delay, Tom Kim kept his wits about him Saturday and stepped off the 18th green with the lead for the third straight day. Carding 5 under 65 in round 3, the 22-year-old sits at the top of the birdie, the top of the leaderboard. At 18 under, one clear of Scotty Scheffler and Akshay Bhatia heading into Sunday's exciting round. A win at TPC River Highlands would represent the fourth and most certainly the biggest of Kim's young career, but it will have to be earned. Yes, you must earn it. John Houseman, late great John Houseman. He did all those commercials for Payne Weber. Yes, at Payne Weber, we do things the old-fashioned way. We earn it. I think it was Payne Weber. I think it was. We'll just have to check that out. After experiencing a somewhat sloppy restart with a couple of bogeys on the initial portion of his inward half, Scheffler surged late with 5 birdies in his last 6 holes to push his name back into contention at 17 under. Sharing the birthday practice rounds and time off the golf course with Kim, the two will now share a final round tee time together as they wrestle for the last signature event title of the season. Scheffler drafted off the momentum of his playing partner, Bhatia, who kept pace and will round out that final threesome on Sunday thanks to back-to-back birdies on numbers 17 and 18. Meanwhile, Sungjae Im seeks his first win on the PGA Tour in over 2 years from 2 adrift at 16 under, is alongside the 2022 champion Xander Schauffele at that number thanks to a closing 40-foot birdie effort. Let's take you to the leaders. Tom Kim, minus 18 or 18 under. It took him 40 holes, but Kim dropped his first and only shot of this tournament when he 3-putted from 11 feet on the par 4 fourth. Things started to move quickly for the young gun as names like Scheffler, Schauffele, and Morikawa made their moves and pushed Kim out of the lead for the first time since Thursday. He hung tough, however, and played his last 14 holes in 6 under to secure the one-stroke lead with one round to play. Other contenders tied at 17 under, Scotty Scheffler and Akshay Bhatia tied in fourth place with 16 under, Xander Schauffele and Sungjae Im. Sixth place is Colin Morikawa all by himself. And a 3-way tie for 7th between Tony Finau, Shane Lowry, and Justin Thomas, all 3 at 14 under. And tied at 10th, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay at minus 13. The final round of the Travelers Championship is tomorrow, weather permitting. It'll be on, of course, CBS. So there you go. Okay, in the prelude to the Olympics in Paris, 17-year-old American swimmer Thomas Heilman came in second at the men's 100-meter butterfly in the 2024 Olympic swimming trials, adding the event to his list for the Paris Olympics. What made his feat even more impressive was the fact that he broke a 2-decade-old record once held by the legendary Michael Phelps. Heilman finished the 100-meter butterfly in 50.80 seconds, beating Phelps' 17 to 18 national age group record of 51.10 set into the 2003 World Championships. Heilman's time was only just 0.04 seconds better than that of Dare Rose, who barely missed the cut for Paris, ooh la la. The Virginia native qualified for his first ever Olympics on Friday, winning the 200-meter butterfly with a time of 1 minute 54.50 seconds, the youngest male swimmer since Phelps, who made the Sydney Games when he was 15. Looking up, this is what Hellman said Friday. Looking up at the board and seeing my name up at the top was really special. That's a goal I've had for years now, and it's too kind to see it up there. There was a little bit of disbelief. The 100-meter fly is not the only Phelps record that Heilman broke, though he previously beat the decorated Olympians 15-16 National Age Group record in the 200-meter fly at last year's Phillips 66 National Championships, finishing second with a time of 1 minute 54.54 seconds. Olympic swimming begins July 27th when the men's 200-meter fly heat starting July 30th and the men's 100-meter fly heat starting August 2nd. You can catch the Olympics on the stations and networks of NBC. So you came in on a good day. Okay, more baseball news. We got you some. Home Run Derby is going to be a little butt naked this year. Aaron Judge told the New York Post he will not participate in the event this summer. Judge won the Derby in 2017, his rookie year, and has not done it since. Judge told New York Post, I'm not doing it. There's no need this year. I'm not done with it. Once it's back in New York, I'll be there. End quote. Despite a sluggish April, Judge swatted his 28th home run Saturday night for 4 more than any other player. He entered Saturday's game with a 301, 425, and 688 batting line and leads the league in doubles with 22, ribs with 67, and an exquisite sauce. Total bases, 187. In addition to home runs, Judge has been on the warpath the last 50 games. Following that 2017 Home Run Derby win, Judge acknowledged it exacerbated a shoulder injury he suffered crashing into the wall a few weeks earlier. He needed surgery on the shoulder after the season. Judge missed the game earlier this week after being hit in the left hand by a pitch. He's been wearing a pad on the hand since returning. Judge says he will return to a Home Run Derby when it returns to New York, though that might be just a little while. New York last hosted the All-Star Game in 2013 when it was held at Citi Field, the home of the Mets. The Yankees last hosted the All-Star Game in 2008, the final year of the old Yankee Stadium. Major League Baseball has already selected All-Star Game venues for 2025, Truist Park in Atlanta, and 2026, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. The earliest the new Yankee Stadium could host the All-Star Game is 2027. That'll be when Judge ages to a mere 35-year-old. The 2024 Home Run Derby will take place Monday, July 15th at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. No player has committed to the Derby yet. Judge is currently the leading vote getter for the All-Star Game starters, though, well, you might not do it. We'll keep you abreast. We'll keep you a charge. We'll keep you informed, as they say. Oh, boy. Lakers and the PR department are really getting beaten, banged up, and booped. Why do I say that? Let's start with some math. 5 teams have won an NBA championship since 2020. The Lakers are one of them. Yet they are now on their 3rd head coach over that time span with the hiring of J.J. Redick. Frank Vogel won a title, then got fired. Darvin Ham made the conference finals. He got fired. Now Redick parachutes in as the hotshot hire. LeBron. As we hear ridiculous comparisons to Pat Riley, Steve Kerr, and Eric Spoelstra. Ridiculous. I call it insane, insipid, disease-ridden. Anyway, we continue. It's almost too absurd to laugh, but we must chuckle. Yeah, we get it. Reddick is a smart guy. He looks and sounds sharp. The Riley comparison, if you really want to be this lazy, lands in your lap from a headshot standpoint, as does Kerr because of their similar player profiles and broadcasting backgrounds. Now, this isn't to say that Reddick won't be a successful coach. Far from it. With no basketball accoutrement, he doesn't have that. Well, with the exception of the podcast he does with some guy named LeBron James, and of course he has worked with ESPN for at least a decade and a third. Uh, if he is like those teams above, he'll be the exception, not the rule. The rule is that almost all NBA coaches are tied almost directly to their rosters. They might get a little more or less out of the group they've been granted, but not much. The Lakers, who have hired and fired 7 coaches since Phil Jackson left in 2012, aren't alone in always thinking they've managed to identify the exception. Remember, they're on their 3rd coach. Pistons are on their, I think, 50th. To run down the list of coaches that were supposed to make a significant difference, only to fare barring roster improvement, much the same as their predecessor would, take forever. But let's look at a few recent examples. Shallst we? We shallst. The Hawks hired Quinn Snyder to replace Nate McMillan, who, it's worth noting, was largely the beneficiary of circumstances himself as Atlanta got healthy in 2021, just as he was replacing Lloyd Pierce, and then went on to make a fluky matchup-friendly playoff run. When it turns out that McMillan, with a few more years of evidence, wasn't actually able to lift a Hawks roster that can't defend and is too reliant on the individual creation of an otherwise stagnant Trae Young. Snyder came in with a modernized plan to play faster and shoot more threes, and everybody bought into the time-honored illusion that a glitzy big-name coach could achieve a different result with the same team. Wrong. They got worse. In Milwaukee, Doc Rivers was brought in to replace Adrian Griffin, who was brought in to replace Mike Budenholzer, who won a championship 2 years ago before his dismissal. Griffin was 30-13 when he got canned, and the Bucks finished the regular season 17-19 under Rivers. One stop on the coaching carousel earlier, Rivers was also tabbed as the guy to improve on what the Sixers were able to do under Brett Brown, who never made it past the second round. Two coaches later, the Sixers still haven't made anything. Chauncey Billups supposedly spoke the same point guard language as Damian Lillard, who now plays for Rivers. Steve Nash had the same former player clout and quickly became something of a joke, like Chauncey. No offense, Chauncey, just, no. Monty Williams was the guy to lead Detroit into the future, but he didn't want to be in Detroit's future. Let's face it. He didn't want to be the coach of the Pistons. He thought that was dead. Maybe Tom Gores thought that was more Death Valley. Write him up and bury him. Maybe Tom Gores should have thought of that. He only lasted 1 year. The Pistons are now paying him $65 million not to coach the team anymore. Funny how Williams was a great coach in Phoenix, and he sucked in Detroit. It's almost all circumstantial. Look at Jason Kidd, who was as mocked as any recent coach for some of his tactics in previous stops, but now, in principle, just got the same extension that McMillan did in Atlanta as a coach who just happened to be on the sideline when the stars aligned. Kidd is not a better coach than Rick Carlisle. Oh, heavens, no, kiddies. Who also isn't as valuable as this conference finals run the Pacers just made would indicate. Carlisle's Pacers got the Bucks without the services of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and for 2 of the final 3 games, Damian Lillard in the first round, and then a ravaged Knicks team that was one step from pulling people out of the stands to play in the second round. Meanwhile, Kidd got Kyrie Irving as a model citizen, something Nash never enjoyed, and massive additions at the trade deadline when Kidd made the finals with largely the same Dallas team that Carlisle was never able to lead that far. We can talk. Until then, if the team changes for the better and the coach in turn magically gets better, do the math. At this time last year, Joe Mazzulla was supposedly a bad coach. Did he suddenly become a champion? One, because he figured out when to call timeouts because he got Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Was Nick Nurse that much better than Dwayne Casey, who literally won Coach of the Year the summer he got fired, or did he just stumble into Kawhi Leonard? Is Chris Smith? Well, you get the idea. There are some good coaches out there and some coaches who should never be allowed to coach. Let's hope this guy that the Lakers have coaches real good, or he won't be the only one leaving. His friend and podcast colleague, um, LeBron James, will also be doing the Buffalo bye-bye. Everybody wonders whatever happened to Jeannie Buss. Well, she still runs the team. She still owns them. She still does the women's wrestling broadcast. She's married now to Jay Moore, who is a comedian, also dabbles sometimes in sports talk radio. He also was once married to a woman who hasn't been seen much lately in Hollywood. She started a Fox show with her once boyfriend, Bobcat Goldthwait. Her name escapes me for a moment, but if I ask nicely, actress who played on Happily Ever After married Jay Moore. Nikki Cox. Let's see. According to Wikipedia, she dated Bobcat Goldthwait from 1997 to 2005. She was married to Jay Moore from 2006 to their divorce in 2018. What is she doing now, I wonder? Well, we'll just read here and find out what she's doing right now, as a matter of fact, because she hasn't been seen lately. She hasn't been seen around period. Let's see here. In 2006, she became the spokesmodel for the online gaming website sportsbook.com. In 2009, she provided the voice of Jenna in Leisure Suit Larry, box office bust. That same year, she also appeared in Lonely Street, a comedy starring Robert Patrick, Jay Moore, Ernie Hudson, and Lindsay Price. In 2016, Cox was nominated as the sole writer for Moore's album, Happy, and a lot for the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album at the 58th Annual Grammy Awards. Let's see. Has she done anything lately? No. Just, let's see. 2009, Spectacular Spider-Man. She was the voice of Silver Sable. That was TV. Film, 2009, Lonely Street. She played Bambi. Youch. Okay, let's just keep this whole Remulac here. And by the way, we are now in the halftime. Yay. We're at the half. Aren't you all glad? Oh, boy. Yeah, why don't I ask? What is the weather like for New Hampshire tomorrow? Whoosh. Well, yipe. For New Hampshire, Manchester to be exact, where NASCAR is going to be on, I don't know if it's it's not NBC. It'll be on the USA Network. Anyway, 83 degrees, thunderstorms and rain predicted. It starts at 7 a.m. with 25%. Then goes down to 20% at 8, 15% at 9, up to 35% at 10, 15% at 11, 10% at noon. 1 p.m. it's going to start, and it's mainly going to be between 15 and 35%. precipitation. We will keep updated on the precip coming up. Well, you know what I mean. Tomorrow we'll dabble into an update for you. Right now, let's go in to the situations in fourth. Let's go to it. In cord cutter news, earlier this year, Walt Disney's ESPN, Fox Broadcast, Walt Disney and Hearst Media's ESPN, Fox Sports, and Warner Brothers Discovery announced the new streaming bundle that will offer 16 live sports channels and 0 non-related sports channels. For sports fans, this may be the dream service letting them watch sports without paying for the Disney Channel or MTV. Now, thanks to a leak spotted by Lopez, we have learned a lot about the new streaming service, including that it will offer multi-view, DVR, and more. It will also be able to disable current scores for games or have them set to be publicly available. The leak happened because the developers apparently left a copy of the app that Lopez spotted publicly available online. One interesting thing is that the app included references to XL Sports, which seems to be a placeholder for a sports name before it was publicly listed as Venu, VENU Sports. As Lopez's Janko Roddiger says, this is an early beta app, and things could change as the service gets closer to launch ahead of this year's fall sports. And what channels will be included in this service? Why, I'm glad you asked. How about this? ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, ESPN News, although technically it should be ESPN3 or ESPN8. ABC, Fox, FS1, FS2, Big Ten Network, TNT, TBS, True TV, and ESPN Plus. Now, a list of what will be available on the service will be NFL and maybe UFL if they do have a second season. Basketball, NBA and WNBA, baseball, Major League Baseball. What, no minor league? Come on. Hockey, the NHL, college sports, thousands of games and events, multiple sports across nearly 24 conferences, including ACC, Big Ten, Big 12, Big East, SEC, 40 NC2A championship events, NCAA men and women's basketball tournaments, the college football playoff, golf, the PGA Championship, the Masters, the Golf League, Grand Slam tennis, Wimbledon, U.S. Open, Aussie Open, cycling, Giro d'Italia, UCI Mountain Bank World Cup, and Giro Donne. Soccer, the FIFA World Cup, U.S. Soccer, National Women's Soccer, Major League Soccer, La Liga, Bundesliga, UEFA, CONCACAF, combat sports, UFC, Top Rank, automobile, Formula One, NASCAR, and the 24-hour Le Mans. For now, we'll just have to wait and see what it's announced later this year to confirm pricing and release date. So that is, of course, from the fun-loving thing we like to call cord cutters news. MeTV is expanding its free over-the-air TV footprint. That's right. MeTV has seen strong growth recently and now has a larger viewership during prime time than FX or MTV. Now, to help it keep growing, its parent company, Weigel Broadcasting Company, is continuing to expand in footprints. This week, it's launched a new TV station in the Green Bay and Fox Cities area of Wisconsin. The new station will be led by MeTV Tunes, Story Television, Movies, and MeTV Plus. With this, fans of classic TV in the Green Bay area will be able to watch these networks for free with an antenna, according to a report from the Green Bay Press-Gazette. This all comes as they announced MeTV Tunes, a 24/7 cartoon network full of classic cartoons in partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery. For some time now, we have known it be coming to streaming, and now Friendly TV and Philo has officially confirmed they will offer the network at launch. There's been confirmation that this is not the final list of affiliates and streaming options for MeTV Tune. Others will likely be added the closer we all get to launch date. Let's do a little checky poo to see if we're going to get it. And by we, I mean the Lansing Jackson area. And so in doing that, we'll just put in 49202. Searchez-vous. Coming soon. It's going to be on Friendly TV in Lansing and Philo Streaming. Not available in our little area on cable. Get to it, Comcast. Okay, 37 minutes past the moment of self-abuse. And it looks like the end, it looks like unless there's a last second appeal by the governor, the fourth NBA media package will be dead. We should probably forget the idea of a separate fourth NBA media rights package for Warner Brothers Discovery, according to sports media insider John Arond of Puck and a few other places. Sources close to negotiations say the likelihood of this happening is practically slim to none, and Slim just left the building. About as dead as it can be, Arland wrote in his Thursday newsletter. This new development became apparent after the New York Times reported that Warner Brothers Discovery is likely to attempt to exercise its matching rights on Amazon's portion of the deal. That seemingly put to rest the idea of a fourth package, which has been floated recently, but RM's reporting has likely placed the nail on the coffin. The concept of a fourth package was intended to let Warner Brothers Discovery retain some NBA rights without needing to match bids from media conglomerates like Comcast or Amazon. However, with the New York Times reporting that Warner Brothers is likely to try to match Amazon's package, that slim possibility became even slimmer, now about as dead as can be. According to our brand, creating a fourth package would likely have triggered a downward bidding war for the NBA. Other companies involved, like ESPN and NBC, might have come back with lower offers to compete with this new package, which could have hurt the overall value of the NBA's media rights deals. Basically, any extra money the league might have earned from a fourth package would likely have been negated by these renegotiations. So there you go. Even if WBD matches Amazon's offer using its matching rights, it could still lead to renegotiation from other bidders, similar to concerns about a fourth package with the potential for renegotiations and the diminished overall deal value. Fourth NBA media rights package seems like a non-starter for both the WBD and the NBA. So for you folks who love Turner, it's on. Adios. Bye-bye. And it looks like Paul Heyman's lost his TV girlfriend. After 8 years with the WWE, working in a variety of on-screen roles, Kayla Braxton announced this morning that she's leaving the company. The move is effective after next Friday's SmackDown from the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Braxton, who's already updated her social media channels to reflect her real surname, Becker, served as a ring announcer, interviewer, and host during her time with WWE. She shared the following statement on social media about her run and the decision to end it. Just say, thank you, WWE. I love you forever. After nearly 8 years holding the microphone, I'm setting it down to pursue my next chapter. Next week at the world's most famous arena, I will be officially signing off. During my years with WWE, I was able to master the art of backstage interview. I hope I was able to turn minutes into moments for all of you. My banter with Paul Heyman became the stuff of legend. I'm so thankful for all he has done to elevate my career. I gained a wealth of knowledge from the wise man, and for that I will be eternally grateful. In 2016, the legendary Michael Cole brought me in to begin my WWE career as a ring announcer with NXT, but I quickly found myself touring the globe, hosting Hall of Fame ceremonies, kickoff shows, and helping launch WWE's first weekly morning show, The Bump. I exited The Bump after more than 200 shows and a move to Los Angeles. Now on the West Coast, I've been offered new opportunities that will further utilize the skills I gained working for the largest sports entertainment company in the world. And thanks to a lot of the people behind the scenes. While she may not receive the same amount of praise as some others who have done the job, Kayla left her mark on the business. Fantastic at interacting with and reacting to wrestlers and other on-screen talent without overshadowing them, most memorably during feuds with Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn while hosting the second iteration of Talking Smack. Who knows who's going to take over, but I have a feeling Dasha, the WWE, is calling. It is now official. There will be a second season of the UFL. Year 2 will consist of a repeat of its debut. UFL was comprised of 8 teams playing a 10-week regular season schedule in 2024. That format ultimately resulted in the Birmingham Stallions, champions of the USFL's final 2 seasons, winning the first ever UFL title. They will be positioned to defend their crown with the same group of challengers for at least one more season. Daryl Johnson, UFL's Executive Vice President of Football Operations, confirmed the UFL will return in 2025 with the same teams and locations in operation as last year. Johnson said, "We are going to be able to dial into the details. We're going to have a traditional off-season calendar where we can be ahead of the curve instead of being in a position where we have to chase it a little bit." I think that's something that everyone's excited about. Now, we keep going, and well, if you want to read it, read the statement. We have more to say here. Pistons introduced their newest victim. Their newest employee. There's still plenty of uncertainty and mystery surrounding the Detroit Pistons. The organization is coming off the worst season in franchise history and is again searching for a new coach. There is no clear-cut path to success, and the roster beyond Cade Cunningham is a series of question marks. One thing owner Tom Gores seems sure about is that he has finally found the right front office executive to lead the franchise. He considers Trajan Langdon not only his president of basketball operations, but his CEO. Dear Lord, has this man been smoking the ganza? After assessing everything, I really felt the best choice for this organization was a fresh start, Gores said Friday when the team officially introduced Langdon. Our mistakes in the past have nothing to do with just one person. We needed a fresh start. We needed Trajan to lead with a fresh start. Langdon, who was previously general manager of the New Orleans Pelicans, replaced former GM Troy Weaver as a franchise lead executive. Coach Monty Williams was dismissed this week with 5 years and $65 million remaining on his contract. Former Cavaliers coach J.B. Bickerstaff, Maverick assistant Sean Sweeney, Timberwolves assistant Micah Nuri, and Pelicans assistant James Borrego are just some of the candidates who are expected to interview for the head coaching job. Bill Belichick is obviously unavailable because he only knows football. Well, you never know. Football coach coaching basketball, that's different. Could be something to work on. With the draft coming up next week and free agency starting June 30th, Langdon isn't sure when a new coach will be in place, but he better. Langdon inherits an extremely young roster. The Pistons finished the season with 11 players, 25 or younger. Development will be a high priority for the next coach after a disastrous 14-68 campaign. The best of the bunch is Cunningham, who averaged 22 points, 22.7 points and 7.5 assists this past season. He's eligible for a rookie scale extension this offseason. The 48-year-old Langdon said he'll try to take some pressure off Cunningham by upgrading his supporting cast. The Pistons could have more than $60 million in cap space to make improvements. With many teams looking to shed salary due to tax aprons in the new collective bargaining agreement, Langdon is willing to make trades that will help in the short and long term. One thing we're looking for with the cap space we do have is bringing in contracts maybe from other teams and gathering assets as well. Hopefully with the players that come in, they can bolster the growth of the younger players. If we can interweave those two things, that would make our summer successful. That's as much as Langdon, who has been on the job for 3 weeks, can offer now to a fan base weary of rebuilding. Pistons haven't won a playoff series since 2008. Don't look for them to have a miracle in this coming season. There we go. Gore hired Langdon not only for his basketball knowledge, but for his overall leadership qualities. Langdon has been given full authority to run the organization's day-to-day operations. One of the previous criticisms about his structure was that too many people had Gore's ear. Oh, just see which part of the body Gore's will give. Let's see what we got here. Michigan Sports Hall of Fame 2024 class includes Ivan Rodriguez, former Detroit Tiger, and Jim Harbaugh. Yay! Let's see. RFK Racing owner Brad Keselowski has opined that NASCAR teams should shut down for a couple of weeks and in the meantime reload for the second half of the season. In a recent episode of Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour podcast, the 2012 Cup Series champion went candid on the importance of breaks. NBC has the second half of the NASCAR races after the Toyota Save Mark 350 at Sonoma on Fox. But however, the company is also expected to broadcast the 2024 Summer Olympics, which will take place in Paris between July 26th and August 11th. That would mean the NASCAR Cup Series season would need an extra week to wrap up, and therefore the season finale of Phoenix will be on November 10th. Nevertheless, Brett Keselowski thinks that's a good thing. We need to do an industry shutdown because we have the 2-week Olympic break, which I think is great. Perfect. Let the Olympics have their heyday. Everybody loves the Olympics. It's great for our sport to get a break and not to compete against the Olympics. Everybody wins. So we'll just see what happens if indeed NASCAR will take a breather during the Olympics, or are we just in for it? Okay, let's get with it here. White Sox beat the Tigers 5-1. We'll give you all the scores coming up. So don't worry. I'm not worried. Are you? Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, AEW Collision was live. Let's take you round the square circle. And the first matchup is Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuri Shibata versus the Premier Athletes. And the winners were Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuri Shibata. Chris Jericho and Big Bill took on Private Pate. And who won that one? Oh, gee, Chris Jericho and Big Bill. Wow. AEW Continental Champion Eliminator match. Kaz Okada took on Ultimo Guerrero, and the winner of that was Katsuki Kaz Okada. Eh. So let's see here. Christian Cage, Kill Switch, and Nick Wayne versus the Iron Savages and Jack Jameson. The winners were the Patriarchy. Yawn. Tony Storm and Mariah May took on Layla Hirsch and Lady Frost. The winners of that were Tony Storm and Mariah May. And of course, you've got Malachi Black and Brody King taking on LSG and MSG and MOUSE. The winner was, of course, the House of Black. Do. Hechicero took on Matt Menard. The winner of that was Hechicero. And the AEW International Championship, Will Ospreay took on Brian Cage. And the winner of that was, of course, Will Ospreay. Bye bye, Brian Cage. We'll see you in WWE SummerSlam. Bet on it. Okay, and finally, we do mean finally, so we can get you the scores. Um, Boyce Lewis, the Minnesota Twins' magnetic often injured star, recently returned from another prolonged absence and has been producing like one of the game's best players. On Thursday afternoon, he cranked his ninth home run in 15 games, setting a franchise record, but, well, nobody was watching. Uh, 7.5 weeks ago, Comcast pulled all of the Diamond Sports Group channels off its airwaves after the two sides failed to agree on a new contract, a circumstance so fraught it triggered an open letter from Minnesota-based Senator Tina Smith urging Comcast to return negotiations and fix this. My constituents are furious, she wrote. Major League Baseball can only sit back and watch it all unfold through gritted teeth, an industry that, though Commissioner Rob Manfred has frequently touted the importance of reach, has had its scope significantly shut down and can hardly do anything about it. Comcast customers who reside in the markets where each of Diamond's 12 baseball teams play have been shut out for nearly 2 months and will likely continue to be all season, with fans of the Twins, Braves, and Tigers, three of the 12 clubs, residing in regions where Comcast is most prevalent among those affected. High-ranking league execs, speaking on condition of being anonymous, this month called Comcast's situation brutal and lamented the likelihood that, in his mind, nothing will change in the near future. Comcast won't move off its demands. Exclusivity provisions won't allow MLB to offer a streaming option for local fans, and Diamond Sports Group won't make up for the loss of revenue. In about 5 weeks, it could all come to a head. A confirmation hearing is scheduled for July 29th and 30th, at which point a bankruptcy judge could determine whether Diamond, which runs the regional sports networks for 38 MLB, NBA, and NHL teams under the name Bally Sports, which will be disappearing as Bally has decided it's going to drop, even affiliating. It will move forward. Will move forward as a business or shut down entirely. It is a decision that could expedite drastic changes in a rapidly evolving media landscape, and one that will have a major impact on MLB's strongly held desire to place media rights under a national umbrella. Before enticing a partner like Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, or ESPN Plus, the league needs the rights blackout free without the territorial exclusivity tied to traditional RSN deals for somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 teams, according to sources, and that's only possible if Diamond doesn't emerge from bankruptcy. Diamond's chances dramatically improved in mid-January when it announced a restructuring support agreement that included partnering with Amazon for its streaming capabilities. Its prospects then took a major hit on May 1st when Diamond failed to secure a deal with Comcast, its third largest distributor. According to sources, the deal fell apart because Comcast wanted to place Diamond teams on a higher, more expensive tier. 6 weeks later, two sides remain at an impasse with no sign of change. MLB officials spent the past 15 months bristling at Diamond, angered by the volatility that has created, uncertainty over whether the league's teams would be paid, and openly skeptical about Diamond's long-term viability. The past few weeks in bankruptcy court have seen representatives from all three leagues express frustration over a lack of information about Diamond's financials, particularly as it pertains to its deals with distributors, prompting what amounted to a discovery fight. None of the leagues seem to believe Diamond can remain a sustainable business without Comcast. Diamond recently asked to move its confirmation hearing from mid-June to the end of July, largely to buy some more time to negotiate deals with the NBA and the NHL, both of which were able to essentially take their digital rights back at the conclusion of the 23-24 season, but the later date now bleeds uncomfortably close to the start of their upcoming seasons, ratcheting up the tension. Further complicating matters is the possibility that Judge Chris Lopez delays his ruling so that the company can sort through outstanding issues with its reorganization plans. To put a fine line on it, if they don't do something fast, they're screwed. Now, if allowed to emerge from bankruptcy, the name of Diamond's broadcast will switch from Bally to FanDuel at the end of the current MLB regular season. If Diamond emerges, MLB teams would simply maintain their pre-existing deals. Some extend into the 2030s and beyond and pay much nine figures, blah, blah, blah. That's the ideal scenario, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see what does. Speaking of waiting, we're not going to wait anymore. We got 3 minutes. So here we go with the fastest scoreboard. Intervest. Oh, are you going to love it? I think I'm going to love it. I don't know, but we will see. Won't we, group? Yes, we will see. Yahoo. Okay. And don't forget, folks, one more reminder, WSYM Fox 47 News will be coming to you from on June 28th from downtown Jackson, the site of the Cruise and Cars. Okay, let's go to the scoreboard. We've got 2 minutes. Actually, this says 4. We got 2. I can do it for an hour. But here we go. We've already done golf. Okay, Major League Baseball, top of the 7th. Nationals, Rockies tied at 4. Top of the 4th, Dodgers lead the Angels 4-0. Final score, White Sox over the Tigers 5-1. Cardinals beat the Giants 9-4. Cubs beat the Mets 8-1. Rangers beat the Royals 6-0. Phillies over the Diamondbacks 12-1. Pirates over the Rays 4-3. Twins over the Athletics 10-2. Guardians over the Blue Jays 6-3. Astros over the Orioles 5-1. Red Sox beat the Reds 4-3. Mariners over the Marlins 9-0. Yankees over the Braves 8-3. And the Padres over the Brewers 6-4. In MLS action, 5 games still going on. 79th minute, New York Red Bulls lead Toronto 3-0. 60th minute, Colorado Rapids lead Montreal 2-1. 56 minutes in, Real Salt Lake and LA Galaxy are goose eggs. So too with 19 minutes played, the Seattle Sounders and the FC Dallas goose eggs. Goose eggs also 18 minutes in, Portland, Vancouver. 17 minutes in, Los Angeles leads San Jose 1-0. Final scores, Columbus over Kansas City 4-0. Houston over DC 4-1. Charlotte over Philadelphia 2-0. Orlando over Chicago 4-2. New England over Cincinnati 2-1. Austin over Minnesota United 1-0. Nashville over New York City 1-0. Atlanta and St. Louis ended tied. In women's soccer, the halftime scores: Bay over Angel City 1-0, and final score: Houston, San Diego, Goose Egg City. WNBA action: Mystics over Wings 97-69, workable number. Liberty over Sparks 98-88, and the Lynx over the Mercury 73-60. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you on Sunday night, folks. Please join us then. Until we meet again, for my producer, equal host, and all-around good egg, Matthew the Wizard Nichols, for our other man about town and psychotic worker, Mr. J the Brain with 2 N's so we don't get sued, man. And the whole gang here at the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios at Park Forest apartment complex somewhere in the city of Jackson. I'm Steve, the Baxman Baxley, and this has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network. We'll see you tomorrow, and yes, it has been a great stream. It's great to have the power back. Good night, everybody. Woo!